Well, the New York Giants are implementing a very interesting strategy this year when it comes to filling out the vacancies on their coaching staff. Just hire everyone from the Tennessee Titans. Welcome everybody to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Gary, and I representing the 904 from the 602. And today, we are talking about the news that broke earlier today about the New York Giants hiring a new tight ends coach after hiring Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator, who was recently on the Tennessee Titans. They have now hired Tim Kelly as their tight ends coach, the former Titans offensive coordinator for 2023. So Brian Daboll underneath him. You got a lot of guys in prominent positions who were with the Titans last year. One of the worst teams in football. Having said that, though, Tim Kelly, this is an interesting hire because I don't know which way this is going to go. On one hand, he was the tight ends coach with the Texans for 2 years. He was the offensive coordinator with the Texans for a bit. He was with Houston for about half a decade. Nothing really happened there from a tight end perspective in terms of developing really good players. Ryan Griffin suffered a production decline under him. CJ Fedorowicz, even with injuries, he was on pace to do less than he was before. Jordan Akins didn't really do a whole lot. Pharaoh Brown, I was really high on the San Diego State tight end, Kyle Waring, third-round pick. I really liked him. He did nothing under Tim Kelly. On the other hand, he was with the Titans for the last 2 years. Chigga Okonkwo has been great for them. I love this guy. I think he's the most underrated tight end in football. He was great in 2022. Slow start to 2023, but the second half of the year, he really took off. I like what he did in Tennessee in that department. On top of that, Kelly's done a pretty good job working with veteran tight ends. He hasn't been able to develop tight ends necessarily besides Okonkwo, but veteran tight ends, he's been pretty good. He's got a good track record. Darren Fells, in his 30s, had his best 2 seasons with Kelly on the staff in 2019 and 2020. Austin Hooper had an increase in production from 2021 in Cleveland to 2022 in Tennessee in his 7th season. Now, that's big for the Giants because they are built around, in particular, a tight end, Darren Waller, who's 31 years old, going to be 32 next season. He might not be able to develop tight ends, but a decent track record with a veteran established tight ends. They're high on Waller, obviously, acquired from the Raiders' former Pro Bowl tight end. Didn't really do as much as I think a lot of people expected, especially with how he played in the preseason, and especially with how he played in Vegas and Oakland over the years. But that might be all Kelly needs. He's good at developing veteran tight ends, getting the most out of them. We saw that with Darren Fells, saw that with Austin Hooper, and maybe we can see that with Waller here. And if he does well like he did with Okonkwo, I think this could be a solid hire. So it's hit or miss. Again, track record, it's inconsistent. Developing tight ends, besides Okonkwo, not the best, but he's got a pretty good track record with veteran tight ends. So I think this is a pretty solid hire for New York. Probably give it somewhere around a B, B-. But what are your thoughts on Tim Kelly getting hired as the Titans coach for the Giants? What are your thoughts on the staff that Brian Daboll is building? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's going to do it for this episode of JJ9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, Jared 9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is Jared 9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.